Good morning to you. Jason here, Birchfield Family Farm. We are just west of Oxford, Ohio. Beautiful, beautiful morning today here. I've got a good word for you today. This comes from Proverbs 16. Commit to the Lord whatever you do, and your plans will succeed. We run grass-fed Red Devon cattle here, St. Croix sheep and chickens, all within a rotational grazing system, under 5 acres, right around 4.75 acres. We're going to be breaking ranks with that, our little 5 acres here this morning. Actually, we already have. We'll take you around and show you what we got going on here. There's a lot of moving parts right now this time of year, and to make things even more complex, we are now once again in drought. So if you guys have been following this year, it's been a tough year. Had a spring drought and then had quite a bit of rain here through August. And we've turned dry again. And according to Drought Monitor, we're back in drought here. So double drought in 2023. Very unusual. I don't remember a year where we've ever had a summer flanked by drought on either side. Spring and fall droughts here. This time of year, we normally do get a bit dry in September, especially late September, but nothing like this. So, like I say, we got a lot going on. Animals are in several different places now. So let's get into this. I want to start out with, we've split our cattle herd right down the middle. We've got 4 animals up front, 4 in the woods here. We need to make a move in both places, but we're milking out Daisy. We've got Hank separated. He's over a month old now. I can't believe that. But he's been separating him at night and then milking Daisy in the morning here. Let's head over there and get her milked out, and then we'll get into this grazing. Okay, here we go. Apologize for the lighting out here. It's a little dark. You can see we've got them separated off. The rams are out here with Daisy. I don't know how that worked out last night when we were separating. Rams are a pain this time of year because they're separated from ewes. You know, you just do what you got to do here, throw them in with whoever. It looks like they survived the night, so that's good. We've got to get her. Yesterday was the first day of milking. We've got to open this up, get her up through this chute and into the head gate. She did great yesterday. We only took about a quart of milk. Certainly could have taken more than a quart. Just getting her used to the routine here. Let's run her up, see how she does. All right, you boneheads, do not come at me. You think that's funny? Here. So this is one of the only things we've found that works against rams, and that's this spray bottle here. I mean, you can beat them over the head with whatever and they'll keep coming, but they get a little bit of spray, a little bit of spritz with the spray bottle, and they'll stop. Come on, Days, let's go. Yeah, come on. Come on, up through the chute, honey. Come on. Come on, yeah. Come on, Days. Come on. Come on, yeah. Go on. Come on, Days, yeah. Go on. Come on. Okay, so one thing we try and do is keep her super happy, super content up here with good hay, alfalfa cubes, a little bit of silage sometimes, whatever she wants to eat, she gets. I want to make this, two kind of things that does. It makes her want to come up here for the most part. And number 2, it keeps her calm while I'm in here. Milking. Okay, I'll get this udder cleaned off here. She's quite a bit easier to milk out than Emma. You guys that have been following know we milk Emma in the wintertime when she calves. And Emma's got a kind of a jacked up udder. This is more of a regular experience here. Okay, she did pretty well here, about a quart, not quite a quart and a half here. The kids are gonna run Hanko around and into her, and then we'll let her out here and get them moved to pasture. So in terms of milk here, I didn't take anywhere close to what she has in total. Don't want to do that. I want to leave some breakfast for old Hank. Took a quart yesterday, a little more than a quart today. It depends too. I've noticed on if you've got bull calves versus heifer calves. The bull calves are going to eat a little more, be a little harder on her. She's ready to get out of here. Yeah, we got to get her out of here. Hank's on the way, honey. But just leaving some for the calf, and then oh boy. Okay, there he is. Okay, you guys want to head on out, and I'll let her out. He's okay, Mama. He's okay. I'll get you out of here. There we go. Okay. Get them run back around here. One other thing before we go to the woods here, there was rationale between why I chose these 4 animals to bring over to the front here with Daisy. Obviously, we wanted to try a little milking with her, so Daisy and Hank were a no-brainer. But with that's Petey there and Joy Calf. Now Joy Calf here, she was born December of last year. So Emma, I believe, has weaned her. Emma's pretty good. Emma the cow is pretty good about weaning, self-weaning. We don't really have to do that, but I just wanted to be sure, just give a little space between the two of them. So Joy Calf is over here away from her mama, which she has not really enjoyed. Just kind of itching that eye there with the hoof. And then we got Petey here, Petey the steer. There's always kind of been talk here of Petey pulling a cart for us, especially maple syrup season, him pulling that sap cart. That has not become a reality yet. I don't know that it will, but Sam wanted a chance to kind of work with him a little bit. And Sam put in some pretty good work. He had him in a halter and was able to lead him around. But through the rotational grazing here this year, we just haven't worked a whole lot with him. And so I think we kind of have lost a lot of that we had gained. And so I don't know if we get a chance. That's not top of the list, but getting a halter on Petey and leading him around a little bit would be a good thing. We got the girls feeding out chickens here. Let's walk over here to the woods and take a look at these other 4 head of Devon, get them moved. While we're on the way, I always think it's interesting on the raw milk to kind of, you might be thinking, or sometimes I kind of get down, I'm like, oh, is this really worth it? It doesn't take long, 15, 20 minutes to milk her out, but it's everything else, right? It's the, washing the jars, having clean jars, and, getting hot water, cleaning her off, running her through the chute. Ouch. Daggone it, that fence was hot. Ah, man, that hurt. That'll get your heart pumping in the morning. Okay. Anyway, is the milk worth it? We have a friend that's lactose intolerant and has consumed our milk with no reaction. Isn't that curious? I think through that, and I believe it's got something to do with those live enzymes still in there. We love it. It's so worth it, even at a quart a day. It just brings me a lot of joy to be able to consume that. We've made butter. The difference between store-bought butter and this Red Devon butter made from the milk here is pretty substantial. You can see a color difference even. I think I got a shot of that somewhere. I'll try and put that up here. But that cream separates, and we've even pulled the cream off, and we've made our own homemade ice cream with just 3 ingredients. Absolutely delicious. 1 farm egg. Hey, that fence is on. Watch it. Just stay there for a minute. 1 farm egg. The cream from the milk, pulling that off, and then combining that with our maple syrup, our homemade maple syrup. Those 3 ingredients, mixing that, making ice cream, putting that in the freezer. Oh my goodness gracious. It is such a delight to have this milk around and be able to do this now. So, two different cows that we're able to milk now, Emma and Daisy, and such a such a neat thing here on the homestead, especially for the kids to be able to experience and even to taste. Okay, cattle, these guys are looking good over here in this wooded section. You know, flies are there, but not looking too bad. Been doing the fly paper around the water there, so when they come up to drink, you know, they got their nose down there, you get most of the face flies over onto that paper. That was an Amazon thing there, $6 a roll, I think, maybe something like that, a little over for that wide fly paper. And I don't know, we'll do an inverted trash can with it as well, and one roll will do a trash can and the water there. So is it worth $6 keeping the flies off of them? Yeah, it is to me. I'll link that. So I'm not affiliated, but I'll link that fly paper. Let's get them moved, get down in here. You can see what we've been on here. Gosh, man, just a putting green, right? Now, I will say this, that last rotation, we had them on this section over in here, this whole thing here. And, you know, we grazed that, and then we moved over and went quick through the paddocks last time. But I tell you what we did not do, and I'm really happy we did not, is we did not come all the way through the woods. And so consequently, check this stuff out down here, across this line here. That was not grazed last time. And so we've got all this forage going up through here in the woods. Now the woods grows, you know, maybe about half as fast as the pasture. But yeah, they know we're up to something here. Let's get this gate open and get them going. Okay. Come on. Where's Em? Come on, Em. Up the hill. Oh yeah. Yeah, you can see that back in there. Pretty lush down in there. That's the thing about the woods. Hey boy, you better be careful. That's the thing about the woods this time of year. You know, at least you've got some green stuff down in there with it being so dry. Some of that moisture still down in there. Come on, Em. Apologize for the traffic here. We're right near the road. I hate that, but just the way it is with this wooded section up front. Come on, what's wrong? She's got a few face flies there. Come on. Now, speaking of milk, she's the one that we usually milk there, and she's got a few ligament issues there with that udder, obviously. But I'm telling you what, you could not ask for a better homestead cow. She calves every year. You guys that follow know, she's what, 13 now? Calves every year, unassisted, and gives us milk in addition to raising that calf. And it's just a super hardy animal. I feel like she's very consistent. So yeah, she's a good homestead fit. Commercial production, I don't know. She also weans. She weans her calves every year on her own, which we've since found out is not really the norm with cattle. Yeah, you know it's dry, right? When you've got to run your line and your posts, and you have to find a spot where a cow peed, right? So that you can get your post in the ground. Even then, it's not going on in all the way, man. This is dry as a bone. Double drought. I feel like these paddocks of ours up front, they've had all they can take here. You know, we've tried to do what we can through these two dry spells, but you know, I feel like we just really needed to come up with something else here. You know, mama sheep here, these ewes, we're walking back to see them now, but they have they're coming into breeding season, and so you absolutely cannot lose body condition. This is our hay field back here that we're walking on, about 26 acres, and they just took a third cutting here last week, and third cutting was good. Like I say, we had all that rain in August, but second cutting was not great. First cutting was good. And so, you know, we needed to come up with something, and I don't want these ewes losing body condition. We walked back here the family and I walked back after the third cutting was made here, and we're just enjoying the field, walking back to we like this backwoods back here, coming back here. 11 acres of woods we own behind the hayfield. Very peaceful, secluded, and when I need to clear my head, that's where I go. But walking through this field, I noticed something. You get into drought, and we've talked about this before, but it's all about buying time. And so, that's what we're trying to do. Some of the moves we make now on the homestead, I feel like there needs to be multiple benefits. The things that really work are the benefits are multifaceted. There are many. I understand Joel Salatin's the name of their farm, Polyface, many faces. You've got to have it. I think it feeds into this diversity of animals and plant species and even insects. Trying to do something different here, think a little outside the box. Of course, there's always risks to everything, and we'll talk through that. Okay, so here's our situation. We have this swale. This swale runs through the middle, about through the middle of this hayfield. Sam's coming over on his bike there. I'm sure the girls aren't far behind, but this swale runs right down through the middle of this 26 acres. And so, we came back here and we were walking, and I thought, man alive, I gotta do something with that. It's growing up. We've talked about succession before, and if you don't mow or you don't graze, you don't do anything to land around this area, it will, just within a matter of a few short years, it'll start going to forest. You can see right there the edge of the woods. The difference is we mow and we cut out here for hay, and the woods is not. And so you let something go like this swale, and we got trees. What'll happen? You got your grasses. Your grasses will go into like shrubby type of stuff, which is kind of what we have down there now. A lot of ironweed. You can see a lot of goldenrod. But I was walking back here and I thought, man, I looked at that. There's probably a little over an acre of swale there, and I thought, what? We did an experiment last year with fence row grazing, and we put the sheep on the fence rows going around this hayfield. And man, that was in the fall, and they came back just, as Greg Judy would say, fat as ticks. I mean, they looked amazing. And I think, that got us in tip-top shape for breeding season, then moving into mid-November when we put the rams back in. And I thought, what? I love the permaculture philosophy, right? The problem becomes the solution. And so I thought, what? We could absolutely head back here and try and knock this down a little bit with the sheep. There are issues to this. The couple of this is risky. This is risky being back here. The house and the barns, the homestead's clear up there. We're probably a half mile back here. And so water's a big issue. We got the trailer there with the couple 100-gallon tank. The water drains out to a hose, and that's on a float valve there. We've got this whole thing fully electrified. So the two big risks here are, number one, coyotes and stuff coming out of that woods. That's its own wild animal ecosystem back in there. So I've got them fully enclosed in Electronet. We got our controller and our battery. It's Haas a firecracker. They spent the night here last night, and this is the first time I'm seeing them here. Everybody's looking good. It looks like they've got some of this eaten down, but the other risk here too is this is a swale. And so if we would get a storm or a rain, especially at night, this is going to flood out. And so this is a low spot. And so the advantage, though, is that you've got the moisture in here with it being low. So you still got a lot of lush green grasses and such. Ironweed, got some golden, a lot of goldenrod in there. The bees are really working that goldenrod. But I thought, what? Let's get them in here. And it's got to stay dry. I mean, looking at the forecast, we got no rain in the forecast for the next 10 days. So we're looking okay. My fear is a pop-up storm. We keep an extra net out here, so if it does storm, I can move them up the hill a little bit just to get them off. Obviously, we don't want to graze the hay field. This will be cut again next next spring. So there's several reasons that several kind of things that needed to come into alignment to make this work. The hay was just cut, so we were able to get back here. It's dry. We were able to get back here, able to, you know, do what we're doing here with current conditions. And so let's come over here and have a look at ewes. They're looking pretty happy. We did have to trailer them back here. That was an ordeal. They did not want to go on the trailer, and you know, we probably could run them back here along the side. We have no fence on that side of the property, and it's field corn. They're not going to touch that field corn, but obviously we don't want them out of this net. We don't want to graze the hay field, so we'll try and keep them in here, pressuring this these weeds and this shrubbery as much as possible. But let's head down here. Yeah, look at this down here. This is what I'm talking about, this succession. See that, you know, right there, that's a walnut tree. Look at that thing. So, you know, the farmer, when he cuts hay back here, he does try and put his hay bine out over this swale. But, you know, there's only so much you can do with that. The problem with this ground here is, you know, you really can't mow it. I mean, it's like there's a ditch, in some spots, a pretty steep ditch down in the middle of this thing. And so, you know, you come in with a bush hog and back it up, you know, and then, you know, kind of try and cut that way off the sides. That's incredibly dangerous, but that's what would really need to be done mechanically. You know, with this here, you know, they're not gonna eat and kill these trees down, but I'm hoping they can knock this down enough to where I can get in here, just with I can use a handheld brush cutter on a few of these trees here, and just get them cut back. But that just lets me get in here if they can knock this back. So, you know, how will it go? You know, they've been on here about 24 hours. It looks like they've got some of it knocked down. Again, this is buying us time. And, you know, right there, they've got a lot of that eaten down and knocked down. You know, I'd say 3 or 4 days on each little section here. And then what we'll do is this is 2 electronets, we have a third. So we'll just move them into that third one temporarily for 20 minutes, move these 2 nets on down the swale, and we'll just keep moving down. And biggest challenge really, I would say, is on a daily basis is water. You know, keeping that, you know, we'll have to take that tank back up and fill it and bring it back, you know, when that water runs out. But everybody's looking great here. You know, they're able to kind of duck into this too for shade during the day. I mean, the coyotes are right here. We hear them back here. Like I say, it's a risk, but I feel like the conditions are right, and you know, we're making it work. I don't know. You know, the weather's just going to dictate how long we're able to stay back here. But this is having them off of there. This is buying us time. Now, what about cattle? You know, I thought about, well, can we get cattle back? Cattle just would not. They would eat this and do all right, but with there not being any shade through here, and with it being like a steep ravine down in the middle of this, cattle just would not thrive on this like the sheep will. Probably would be even better if we had some goats in here too to get some of that shrubbery down even further. But some of this goldenrod, this ironweed, I was hearing ironweed supports like 22 different species of butterflies and moths. That's pretty cool. And this goldenrod, so on the goldenrod here, I got a little freaked out because initially read that it was toxic to cattle, sheep, and humans. And that turned out to be, there's many different varieties, but there's a rayless goldenrod, sometimes called, I believe, Jimmy weed. And that stuff is toxic, but that's the goldenrod that's down south. So you guys down in Arizona, Texas, New Mexico, don't graze the goldenrod down there. It looks more like a bush, that rayless goldenrod, whereas this is a Solidago goldenrod, I believe. Not sure that's how you say it, but it's a different variety that actually is able to be consumed by the animals and by us. Matter of fact, this is great. These leaves are great for inflammation. So I'll be taking some of these leaves back up. My arm's been hurting a little bit lately. I think it's strained. And I'll be taking some of these leaves back up. Not necessarily the gold, but the leaves. Put those leaves in a cup of real hot water. Put a little honey in there and make a tea. That's going to help with that inflammation. So we'll take some of that back up. The other thing is talking about the succession and what's actually happening here within this swale. A lot of this stuff is the shrubbery that's grown up. You can see some thistle in here as well. There are some grasses down low, but you get into the real tall stuff here, and it's like there's no real grass underneath. It's like bare soil. And so I think if we can get in here and graze this as well, see this ditch, look how deep this is. I think if we can graze this though, I mean, this is going to, we're going to open up that canopy. And when we open up that canopy, we're going to get some more grasses that establish in here and really hold that dirt. And I'll tell you what really needs to happen back here. And I had another farmer telling me this, and I agree with him. But we need about 3 spots down through here with rock. It needs to be that bigger sized rock, just like covering the swale, and because this thing runs all the way down through the neighbor's cornfield. That's upstream, and it drains all the way down through here, all the way out through our woods, and then goes over and drains into Indian Creek. And we just need to slow that water down. There is tile down through here in there, so that's a good thing. That helps us with that drainage. But slowing that water down, getting those ditches filled in even. And I mean, you can't even drive across this. It's so steep. We got an area down here where they drive across to make the hay over in that section. And so, getting this grazed down, getting some sun in there, and establishing a little bit more grass rather than the shrubs and even the small trees that are coming on. But it's a pretty neat ecological area though, I think, just because you can actually see that succession that they talk about, Elaine Ingham and some of these others. The good thing is we have the soil. We know we have the soil to support that. We would absolutely grow a tree line or a woods down through this swale if we just let it go. So, whatever the sheep can't do, obviously I'm going to have to get back here with something and, take care of this eventually. But, that's the story. That's the story back here, thinking outside the box, and, multiple benefits: taking care of the swale, knocking back the shrubs, trees, getting the grass to grow a little bit better down low and hold that dirt in there, but also, putting that body condition on the ewes here. We're far enough removed from lambing now. We've got everybody sold. All the lambs were sold back in July, so they've recovered, certainly recovered from weaning and the lambs. But trying to get them in really, really tip-top body condition, putting on that weight for breeding here in mid-November. So the saying, courage is knowing that it might hurt and doing it anyway. Stupidity is the same, and that's why life is hard, right? So many things like that on the homestead. I feel like it's taking risks and knowing what's reasonable and what's not. I don't know. A lot of this stuff you try for the first time, and it's just this feeling like this is going to be either the dumbest thing we've done here, or it's going to be one of the best. And I don't know. This works out, and maybe in the fall after third cutting, we're able to get back here and kind of extend our grazing, especially in drought. Double drought, like I say, just never. I have no experience with drought on either side of summer. Pretty bizarre. Spring drought has its own challenges with getting garden established, and your plants are a lot smaller. We've dealt with drought at the end of summer and through summer before, a little bit, but getting those plants established, those root systems and whatnot, it takes so much work, so much watering. but it worked. You know, we had a great garden, got that rain through midsummer, and so we had a really good harvest here that we just are finishing up. You know, pulling stuff off of the garden, tomatoes and watermelon and you know, peppers. Too many things to name, really. But we pulled out the green bean seeds through the middle section of the garden there and sowed that winter or cool season cover crop. Got the black plastic up, so that was good. And it looks like that's coming up a little bit. Tons of watering right now, but mostly that rye in there in that mix. A little bit of hairy vetch and some cool season stuff in there. So that'll be good for the garden. Just about buying time right now with drought. You know, the challenge I feel like on the fall side, you know, spring side has its own drought challenges, but on the fall side it's like days are getting shorter, right? So in the spring, days are getting longer. At least you've got the light, but daylight is fading this time of the year, and so just not much grass growth. I mean, at all. And that's you know, you play the hand that you're dealt out here. And like I always say, you know, my worst day on the ranch is better than a best day at a 9 to 5. If I was working a 9 to 5, so I'd much rather be out here is the point. Anyhow, I hope you're doing well today. You know, weigh in. How's life in your neck of the woods? Getting enough rain? Are you dry? Tell us what's going on, and hope you're at peace today and blessed, and we'll talk to you next time. Take care.